What's up, guys? Deric Rush here for your weekly devotional. Now, I'm going to be doing one from the book of Jonah, and it's going to be short and sweet. Maybe not so short, maybe not so sweet. But anyways, we're going to get into it anyway. So one of the things that I love about the book of Jonah is the simple thought or the simple phrase that you can run, but you can't hide. You know, when God has your number, you just kind of have to bend, because eventually it's going to get hard for you if you choose otherwise. And I'm just going to read some of the scripture from the first chapter of Jonah here. And we're going to go right down to verse 3, where God had told Jonah to go and speak to the people of Nineveh. But instead, at verse 3, it says, "But Jonah got up and went in the opposite direction to get away from the Lord. He went to the port of Joppa, where he found a ship leaving for Tarshish. Now he bought a ticket and went on board, hoping to escape from the Lord by sailing to Tarshish." How many times have we sat here and done things in life and you just kind of say, you know, God, whatever it is you need me to do, I'm going to do it. You know, whatever it is that's meant for my life, I'm going to do it. And then he tells you, and it's like, well, anything but that. And so then you go in the opposite direction, and it's like, okay, now it gets hard for you, because again, you can run, but you can't hide. And in verse 4, the Lord hurled a powerful wind over the sea, causing a violent storm that threatened to break the ship apart. Fearing for their lives, the desperate sailors shouted to their gods to help and threw the cargo overboard to lighten the ship. All the time, Jonah was sound asleep down in the hold, so the captain went down after him, and he said, "How can you sleep at a time like this?" He shouted. "Get up and pray to your God, and maybe he will pay attention to us and spare our lives." Now, if you go to continue to read this scripture, you'll find that Jonah goes on a bit of a roller coaster ride after this, getting tossed into the sea, getting swallowed by a big fish. And in that whole time, this was one of his lowest points. And I think a lot of times that we go against the will of God, it kind of takes us farther and farther into a deeper hole, or I guess in this analogy, it would be a deeper sea. We get swallowed by a big fish, whatever that big fish may be in our lives. And then you ask yourself, if I had to just listen, would this have been different? Would it have been a little bit easier? Now, if you go on throughout the rest of this, the book of Jonah, you learn that Jonah finally submits and surrenders. And when he does that, the fish spits him out. He goes to Nineveh and does what God has asked him to do. So my big question to you today, as I wrap up my devotional, is what are some of the things in your life that God may be asking you to do that's causing you to stretch and get out of your comfort zone, do some things that may not be what your norm might be considered, but nonetheless, it's something that he is asking you to do for the betterment of both yourself and ultimately the betterment of the kingdom. So just think about that as you go throughout your week. Find some of those areas that you may consider, hey, is this one of those areas where God is challenging me? And if he is, maybe go towards him instead of going in that opposite direction. I hope you have a great week, and you guys stay blessed.